Before Pixel, there was Nexus, a range of well-specified devices offered at a great price and offering the complete stock Android experience. Whilst it's pretty easy to lay your hands on a device running the stock Android experience these days, 4 years ago, aside from a custom ROM, the best place to get your fix was with a Google Nexus device. And in this video, we're going to take a look at an Android cult classic. This is the Legends of Tech series, and this is my look back at the LG Nexus 5. Okay, so there may be other handsets in the Nexus arsenal worthy for this video, but the Nexus 5 was the one phone I was never able to get my hands on. At the time in 2013, stock was scarce, and this meant I had to make do with a Galaxy S4 from Samsung. Itself no slouch, but I'd secretly yearned for that stock Android experience, having got fed up over time with Samsung's TouchWiz overlay. The Nexus launched in two colours, black and white, and later on was joined by this fetching red colour scheme seen here. LG didn't exactly bless the Nexus 5 with killer looks, but what it lacked in the beauty department it made up for its spec sheet. Rocking the latest Snapdragon 800 processor, 2GB of RAM and an Adreno 330 GPU, this was no slouch in the performance department. Keeping your eyes entertained was a 5-inch Full HD IPS LCD display which was covered in Corning Gorilla Glass 3, and even now, this is a great display with good colour and contrast, making the viewing experience easy on the eye. Sure, those on-screen navigation buttons ate into the display real estate, but I really love how pocketable and easy to use the Nexus 5 is using one hand, something we're drifting away from in the latest flagships with the screens measuring north of 5.5 inches or more. So taking care of imaging was an 8MP rear camera, complete with optical image stabilisation and 1080p video recording. The Pixel DNA was here too, with HDR Plus on board, ensuring smooth and colourful shots with great contrast. Compared to even today's mid-range devices, the 1.3MP front-facing camera wasn't going to make anyone look beautiful, but back then, the selfie game was nowhere near as huge as it is now, so images taken with this camera were good enough for occasional social posts, but that was about it. The video was also smooth, but topping out at Full HD at 30 frames per second meant you weren't going to be capturing fast-moving video anytime soon. Power was supplied from a non-removable 2300mAh battery, and this was one of the only downsides of the phone, leaving the phone short of power towards the end of a day. But hey, at least with Qi wireless charging on board, this allowed for a quick boost at your desk if you needed throughout the day. For what it lacked in the looks department, the Nexus 5 was a superbly pocketable device, hitting the sweet spot between a good sized screen and great usability in hand. And using it now, it's amazing to think we saw 5-inch displays as huge back in this day, and I would take for granted the large 5.5 inches of today. But where the Nexus 5 aced it was with the software experience. Love it or hate it, stock Android is the absolute smoothest user experience, and the small touches like animation swipes and the lag-free user interface made this a joy to use. From tapping out an SMS to browsing the internet or checking out your favourite snaps from the camera, the Nexus 5 gave you a software experience like no other device at the time, and even now, there's no let-up in performance, belying its 4-year-old technology. It even came with a headphone jack, and yes, I know this comment's getting tired now, but you cannot deny the convenience of this feature, and LG's expertise in audio is present here, with great detail and a nice smooth sound which is far better than the Samsung Galaxy flagship S4 at the time. So even though Google waved goodbye to the Nexus line, there's still many Android lovers who will remember the days when good value specs didn't cost you a lot of money. In many respects, the Nexus 5 remains one of those devices which has truly stood the test of time. Sure, Android 7 passed it by, but the pure Android experience still holds true, and it's easy to see why this holds such cult status even today. Stay tuned for an audio classic next time in the next installment of the Legends of Tech series, and if you enjoyed the video, please be sure to leave a thumbs up and subscribe so you don't miss more great content coming soon. But for now, this will be my look back at the awesome LG Nexus 5. My name's Mr. West, and I will catch you guys